Woody. So if you thinking I'm just saying this because I don't like Chris Carter, you're sadly mistaken. I'm just looking at a situation to whereas Damian Woody and the rest of these guys are sitting around saying, hey man, you a fool, you sold us out, and this, that, and the third. But at the same time, later on this week or later on in the year or later on in the season, y'all will be telling these guys, y'all need to stick together. That's why these owners won't get y'all guaranteed contracts. How could they possibly stick together when you are sending a mixed message? Don't tell these players that they should stick together and band for the purpose of the union. And when somebody attempts to stand up for the union, stand up for themselves against the union, they're wrong. If the union gave you a bad deal and you standing up against the union, hey man, do what you have to do to make yourself as much money as you can and keep it moving. Sometimes you just have to do that. And Chris Carter went as far as to say that this dude is a fool, and Chris Carter was the most disrespectful I've ever seen. But it's amazing how in one breath Chris Carter would say he's there for the money, but in the other breath he's going to tell you that you're a fool. Chris, you got to stop sending mixed messages, bro. You have to. You cannot be a player. See, I have a problem with people like Chris Carter and Stephen A. Smith. Y'all want to talk like dogs and walk like cats. Y'all want to sit around and keep y'all street credibility and use all these urban colloquialisms and things of that nature. But when it comes time to it, you always side with the man. Why, Chris? Why is it that you always side with the man when it comes down to it? I just don't get it. Every time I turn around, Chris Carter is telling you how you need to be grateful for the NFL. The last time I checked, none of those dudes who own the team can go tackle anybody, can throw a football, can catch a football, or anything of that nature. So why should they exclusively be happy? They should be happy that they got the type of services that are being provided by these players. That's what those ownership groups. It is a both one hand wash the other, both hand wash the face situation. But if you allow people like Chris Carter and Stephen A. Smith to tell it that these guys are foolish for not taking care of their business the best way they can, you even can say, oh, well, they're not going to get as much money as they would. Well, you know what? Sometimes you have to be the sacrificial lamb. Chris Carter said, and I quote, you are not going to be able to change the system. So just go along with the system because you can't beat it. Just imagine if people would have said that in 1960, 1955. Oh man, we'll never get on the front of the bus. So why boycott the bus company? We'll never be able to be. What if somebody would have said that to Barack Obama? Oh, you ain't never gonna be president. It's always got to be a first to do everything. And if you allow yourself to be mistreated, that's exactly what people are going to do. Mistreat you. They're going to disrespect you. They're going to mistreat you. They're going to treat you like trash. And if you continue to just chase the money instead of having the intestinal fortitude to do what you have to do to survive, look, stack your, for the last 3 years I've been hearing people say, in 2020 we're going to strike. Everybody grab hold of all the money they can because we're going to strike and get a better deal. Le'Veon Bell said, I ain't waiting to 2020 to get to strike. So when he does that and he obviously, Le'Veon Bell isn't missing any meals or missing out on any money. So if he's taking the time to basically put a comma on his career, let him do that, man. Because you know what? Somebody in the future will benefit from what Le'Veon Bell did. And it could have been your son, Chris Carter. It could be your grandson or anybody else. It could be anybody who's coming up in the league. The problem is in the NFL, you guys are not willing to miss out on checks. Look, Le'Veon Bell told y'all last year, if I don't get what I want, I will retire versus signing a franchise tag. Maybe Le'Veon Bell knew the whole time that if I don't sign this franchise tag and I never go in, y'all gonna have to give me $25 million next year. Maybe he knew that the whole time, and you guys didn't know it. Because the last time I checked, I haven't heard Le'Veon Bell say anything else after saying, if y'all franchise me, I'm not coming back. That was the last thing you heard him say. He ain't said another word about coming back, coming in, signing, anything. but his former teammates, Ben Roethlisberger, and some of his offensive linemen, they've been speaking up for him. Pouncey, Marquise Pouncey, and the rest of those, they've been speaking up for him and looking like damn fools. So if you gonna look like a damn fool, don't get mad at him, because he ain't tell you these things. And even if he did, he has the right to change his mind and do what's in his best interest. Just because you're stupid enough to take the money and run, take the scraps that they're gonna give you off the table, and think you winning, he's saying he ain't winning in that fashion. So please don't disrespect him by disrespecting yourself and talking about him, calling him a fool and things of that nature. Because the only fools in this situation is the people who are worried about Le'Veon Bell and his paycheck and what's going on in his house versus taking care of their own houses. And with that being said, let me get on to these next few games. You got the Arizona Cardinals. Of course, they lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. That game was over before it started. It's not even worth talking about it. A shocker was the fact that Matt Barkley threw for 232 yards and led the Buffalo Bills to a 41-10 victory over the New York Jets. LaShawn McCoy had 110 yards rushing, and it looks like the Buffalo Bills are on their way. Matt Barkley is not the answer, but hey, for at least 4 quarters, he was the answer. Let's see what happens this week. You got the Washington Redskins versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It looked like they were coached up properly. Check down, Alex did his thing, and the defense held tight. The sad part about this is y'all keep trying to tell me that Ryan Fitzpatrick is worth it down, and anybody who's watching football understands that he's not. 406 yards passing, which is an NFL record for only scoring 3 points. 3 fucking points. 3 fucking points. 406 yards. That means he was looking like John Elway between the 20s, and once he got into the red zone, he was looking like Who Shot John. It's a damn shame that this dude is starting over Jameis Winston, and we're gonna get more in depth in regards to that on this weekend show, because it's a damn shame. And then you have the piddly Oakland Raiders versus the Los Angeles Chargers. John Gruden is continuing to trick people into believing he's a viable option as a coach in the National Football League. Me, you, and anybody who's ever watched football realize that it looks as if the game has passed him by, and at this point he's tanking. He's destroyed the Raiders, and the San Diego Chargers are looking like world beaters. The reason they're looking like world beaters is because Melvin Gordon, 73 yards receiving, 93 yards rushing, and Phillip Rivers are taking the lead by storm. Let's not forget, they've pulled Antonio Gates off the scrap heap, and now he's a valuable option as well. The Chargers are quietly putting together one of the better seasons in the NFL this year, and they're looking like they will be a major player in the NFL. They're going to have a lot to say about the NFL this year. Now, the Miami Dolphins versus Green Bay Packers. Come on, man. Brock Osweiler versus Aaron Rodgers. Enough said. Enough talking about that game. No need to even go on any further. Then you got the Los Angeles Rams, who are looking crazy, versus Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks are in limbo at this point. They are half rebuilding, half not. But it looks like the combination of Brandon Cooks and Todd Gurley are too much for them. Jared Goff was at the helm, and he did his thing. And it looks like the Seahawks are not dead yet, but the Rams are on the road. But if the Rams don't show up their defense, it's going to be hell to pay the captain. The Dallas Cowboys shocked the Philadelphia Eagles with a 27-20 game. And look, we're not going to blame Carson Wentz, and we're not going to congratulate Dak Prescott. The bottom line is this. The Philadelphia Eagles should have reached out and got a running back instead of going to get Golden Tate, or in addition to getting Golden Tate, they should have did what they had to do to get a running back. And until they start having a balanced offensive attack, the Philadelphia Eagles will continue to be a struggling and floundering offense. I still have faith in them, but if you don't have a running game, it's going to look real bad. I'm just telling you. Then you look at the final game of the week, which was the New York Giants and the San Francisco 49ers. This was one of the better games of the week. The 49ers and the Giants went down to the wire. The Giants pulled it out. Eli Manning looked like a viable option at quarterback. You never know. If Eli can go back with his old head coach and end up in Jacksonville, this could be a very interesting situation in Jacksonville next year. It gives them the opportunity to have Leonard Fournette, Eli Manning, and be able to draft and groom a quarterback until Eli Manning retires. With that being said, I want to thank everybody. First and foremost, I want to thank Len Elmore for being on the show. It was a true pleasure speaking with him. You can also follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at hrap_B. You can get the episodes on YouTube. You can get this on YouTube as well as getting it on YouTube, iTunes, and you can go to Spreaker.com. Following me, hit the follow button, HRAB, and you'll get notifications of every show, and then you'll be able to listen to this show in its entirety. Thanks to everybody for being in the chat room. I want to thank the people from coast to coast, from border to border, starting, of course, with James in California, Craig, Anthony, and Ken in Arizona, Joe in Houston, Antoine, and Terrence in Dallas. I want to thank Nas, Chris, Stacy in Atlanta. I want to thank Mo Cheese, my main man Mo Cheese, as usual. Much love. Red, for being in the chat room. Tuz, what's up, man? Thanks for listening in. Much love, brother. I want to thank everybody in Canada, Mexico, Jamaica. I want to thank the people in Norway. I want to thank the people in the United Kingdom, France, Greece, Germany, Ireland, Pakistan, Spain, Portugal, Guyana, Ghana, and Algeria. I want to thank the people in the Philippines, China, Russia, Fiji, Australia, and if I forgot your country, please forgive me. And I want to remember, check me out on X Squad Radio this Saturday from 4 p.m. Central Standard Time until 6 p.m. We're going to have it lit. Thanks again to Len Elmore. Combat. I want to say big ups to Reggie O'Shea, a.k.a. Combat Jack, for the inspiration. Rest in peace, and take us out of here, Combat.
Internet, you know what it is, man. Dream those dreams and man up. And live those dreams, because life without dreams is black and white. And the universe flows in technicolor, surround sound. Wow.